Let's go back to one of our earlier stories now. The accused in the multi-million rand Estina Dairy corruption case want the case to be struck off the roll. 8 people, including senior executives who previously worked for the Gupta family's Oakbay, are appearing in the Bloemfontein Court. They face, among other things, fraud and corruption charges relating to the more than 220 million rand Estina Dairy project in Vrede. For more on the story, we crossed our reporter Aphumelele Mdlalane in Bloemfontein. Good afternoon, Aphumelele. The defendants are asking for the case to be thrown out. When can we know if this is being considered and what the answer will be?
Yes, indeed. Of course, the court has just adjourned until Tuesday for the magistrate, of course, has asked that it has to adjourn for more so that he can go through the documentations. But with me right now, I'm joined by the NPA spokesperson in the first stage, and Ndate Shuping, who will be taking us through to what has really transpired in court today. Ndate Shuping, can you just take us to what really transpired today?
Well, what actually happened is that the state was asking for a postponement, considering that we still have a lot of investigative issues that we still have to follow up. The problem that we had was that the defense was totally against the postponement because they are saying it's prejudicing their clients, and considering the fact that the matter has been on the court roll from February. But what we are saying is that we're dealing with a financial matter. And the second thing that we had a problem with is that some of the allegations we have against the accused is that some of the amounts of monies went into the bank accounts of foreign companies. And then we have to get a mutual legal agreement with those foreign companies for us to get statements that we can use in the case.
It looked like the state was not really confident that it has the case, the legal standing.
No, I think the defense based their argument on the 2 applications that were made by the Asset Forfeiture Unit. As we are aware that those 2 applications went in favor of the accused. But what we are saying is that the information that was used in those applications is the information that was investigated by AFU investigators. It's not information that was investigated by the police investigators, where we have auditors who can assist us in analysis of those statements.
The state was grilled inside during the proceedings, and also the legal representative citing the judgment in High Court on the asset forfeiture.
Like I'm saying to you, the AFU application was based on just a fraction of the information that we have in terms of the docket. The defense is using mostly the information that was presented to the court by the judges and even the magistrate court in the application for relaxation of bail conditions. But we still reiterate that they don't have access to the whole docket, which we have, because at the moment we are not obliged to provide them with our case docket. So the information that you're using is probably just 5% of the information that we have in our case docket.
And on Tuesday, what do you wish to hear?
Look, we have presented our case. They presented their case. Now we are at the mercy of the magistrate to decide whether he's granting us a postponement or if he is refusing the postponement.
And then in terms of the case possibly being struck off the roll, that is something that the representatives from Council 6 to 11 made a strong case about. Isn't there a fear that it might be struck off the roll, also painting the state to being seen as incompetent?
Well, we cannot preempt the judgment. We just have to wait for the magistrate to make pronouncement, and then we decide on the course of action after the judgment has been pronounced by the magistrate.
And then is the state hoping that the 3 to 5 months is preparation in order to get another extension for the High Court to prepare properly for the trial?
Well, it's what we requested, so we cannot come and request for an amount of time that we think is impossible. So we are optimistic that within 3 to 5 months we'll have all the information that we are looking for.
And then in terms of the objection that the state needs to have concluded its investigations before requiring extradition orders and the likes, has the state concluded its investigation or part thereof in order to be able to get that?
No, like I'm saying to you, there are still issues that we have to follow up. That is why we are asking for 3 to 5 months in postponement, so that we can finalize those issues. Once we have finalized those issues, we'll be in a position to set a date for trial.
All right, that was it from the NPA spokesperson, Ntate Paladishuping, saying that they will, of course, have to wait for Tuesday and to hear from the magistrate as to what it has for them. But they saying that they're still confident that they still having a strong case, just that they want the postponement rather, so that they can go through and continue with their investigations. For now, it's back to you in studio.
Aphumelele Mdlalane coming to us from the Bloemfontein Regional Court. They're giving us an update on that Estina Dairy case story. It's time for a short break. I'll have